In this problem, we're told that a random sample of statistics students was asked to estimate the total number of hours they spend watching television in an average week. The responses are recorded in the table shown here, table 10.2.2. We're asked to use the following sample data to construct a 98% confidence interval for the mean number of hours statistics students will spend watching television in 1 week. So we're given this table of hours that students watch in 1 week: 0, 3, 1, 20, 9, 5, 10, 1, 10, 4, 14, 2, 4 hours, and 5 hours. 15 students in the sample. We're going to use our graphing calculator in this example, but don't forget that you need to be able to do this by hand as well. So if you want to look at how to do that, go back to example 10.2.2. You should know how to find the sample mean. You should know how to find the sample standard deviation, how to find the t-value using the correct charts for the t-score, and calculating the error bound by hand, and then calculating the interval by hand. That said, you might be asked to do this by hand on an assignment, but on an exam where you're not going to be allowed a graphing calculator, if you are expected to do it by hand, the sample is going to be much smaller than 15, because again, the point is to assess whether or not you understand the process and not make you spend an exorbitant amount of time finding the interval by hand with a larger sample. And I know 15 isn't necessarily a large sample, but it is when you're trying to find all of these values by hand. So how we use our calculators to do this, again, we go to Stat, Edit, hit Enter, and then we enter in the individual values of hours of television watched in 1 week by this sample of statistics students: 0, 3, 1, 29, 5, 10, so on and so forth, all the way down to the last value of 5 hours. So then we're going to go to tests. We aren't given a population standard deviation, so that means we're going to use the t interval. We're given data. We could calculate the stats, but that would kind of defeat the purpose of us using our calculators. So we're going to use the data that we just entered in list 1 for the hours from the sample. Enter in your confidence level of 98, so 0.98. Hit calculate. And we get an interval from 2.3965 to 9.8702. If we round that to the nearest hundredth, we can say that we are 95% confident the true population mean hours that statistics students spend watching television in 1 week is between 2.40 hours and 9.87 hours. And again, be sure you remember how to do this by hand for those instances where you will be asked to do so on an assignment or on an exam. The process is the same as what finding the interval was before. The only difference is where we find the t interval. We're going to use degrees of freedom, which would be 1 less than the sample size when we go to look up the t value in the chart. The process for finding the error bound, as it shows in example 10.2.2, is exactly as the same as it was for the z interval otherwise.